Have you noticed that everything feels more expensive than ever before? From groceries and fuel to rent and everyday essentials, prices seem to keep rising no matter what. But why is this happening? Behind the scenes, there are powerful economic forces driving these increases, from inflation and supply chain disruptions to global events and changing demand. Today, we will talk about why everything is so expensive right now. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to my channel. You might be working just as hard as before, maybe even harder, but your money doesn't stretch the same way it used to. It feels like no matter how careful you are, expenses keep growing. So what is really happening behind the scenes? Why does everything feel so expensive right now? In this video, we're going to break it down step by step in a simple way. And make sure you stay until the end, because the final reason is something most people ignore. Yet it affects every single purchase you make. 10. Inflation is rising. The most obvious reason is inflation. Inflation means that prices increase over time, and your money loses value. A few years ago, a certain amount of money could buy you more goods than it can today. That same amount now buys less. This is why everyday items like food, clothing, and transportation feel more expensive. Inflation is not always a bad thing. A small amount of inflation is normal in a growing economy. But when inflation rises quickly, it creates pressure on households. People notice it more because their income doesn't increase at the same speed. This gap between rising prices and slower income growth is what makes inflation feel painful. 9. Higher production costs. Behind every product you buy, there are multiple costs involved. Companies have to pay for raw materials, labor, transportation, packaging, and energy. In recent times, all of these costs have increased. Raw materials are more expensive, workers demand higher wages, and transporting goods costs more due to fuel prices. When businesses face higher costs, they have two choices: reduce profits or increase prices. Most choose to increase prices to stay sustainable. That's why even simple products, which used to be affordable, are now more expensive. The increase doesn't come from one place, it comes from every step of the production process. 8. Supply chain disruptions. Supply chains are the systems that move products from factories to stores. When everything works smoothly, goods are available and prices stay stable. But when disruptions happen, like delays in shipping, shortages of materials, or limited production, it creates a gap between supply and demand. If fewer products are available but people still want to buy them, prices go up. This is basic economics. In recent years, global supply chains have faced many disruptions, which is why many items became scarce or delayed. These shortages directly pushed prices higher. 7. Increased demand. At the same time that supply has been limited, demand has increased. More people are spending money again, especially after periods of reduced economic activity. When demand rises, businesses see an opportunity to increase prices. If people are willing to pay more, prices naturally go up. This is especially noticeable in areas like housing, travel, and consumer goods. When too many buyers compete for limited products, prices rise quickly. High demand combined with limited supply creates a perfect situation for rising costs. 6. Energy prices are higher. Energy plays a role in almost everything you use. Fuel is needed to transport goods, electricity powers factories, and energy is required in production processes. When energy prices rise, the cost of doing business increases across all industries. This increase is passed down to consumers. For example, higher fuel prices increase transportation costs. This means groceries, clothing, and other goods become more expensive to deliver, and that cost is added to the final price you pay. This is why energy prices have such a strong impact on the overall cost of living. 5. Wage increases. In many industries, wages have gone up as companies compete to hire and retain workers. While this is positive for employees, it also increases costs for businesses. When businesses pay higher wages, they often adjust their prices to maintain profits. This leads to a situation where people earn more, but also spend more. This cycle can make it feel like there is no real improvement in financial comfort. Income increases, but so do expenses. Wage growth is important, but when it happens alongside rising costs, the benefit can feel limited. 4. Government spending and money supply. Government policies play a big role in the economy. When governments increase spending or introduce financial support programs, more money enters the economy. At first, This can help people manage their expenses. But over time, having more money in circulation can lead to higher prices. When more money is available but the supply of goods does not increase at the same rate, prices naturally rise. This effect may not be immediate, but it builds over time and contributes to the overall increase in the cost of living. 3. Housing costs are rising. Housing is one of the biggest expenses for most people, and it has increased significantly. Rent prices are rising, and buying property has become more expensive in many areas. There are several reasons for this. Demand for housing is high, but supply is limited. Construction costs have also increased, making it more expensive to build new homes. When housing costs rise, it affects everything else. People have less money for other expenses, making overall life feel more expensive. This is why rising housing costs have such a strong impact on financial pressure. 2. Global events and uncertainty. Global events can have a major impact on prices. Economic crises, conflicts, and health emergencies can disrupt markets and supply chains. These events create uncertainty. When businesses face uncertainty, they often increase prices to protect themselves from potential losses. For example, disruptions in one part of the world can affect production or transportation globally. This leads to shortages and higher costs. Uncertainty also affects investor confidence, which can influence markets and prices in many industries. 1. Your money has less purchasing power. The most important reason is something many people don't fully notice. Your money has less purchasing power than before. Purchasing power means how much you can buy with your money. When prices rise faster than income, purchasing power decreases. This is why even if your salary stays the same or increases slightly, it still feels like you're falling behind. Everyday expenses take up a larger portion of your income. Over time, this effect becomes more noticeable. What once felt affordable now feels expensive, even though your financial situation may not have changed much on the surface. While you can't control the economy, you can control your response. Start by becoming more aware of your spending. Identify areas where you can reduce unnecessary expenses without affecting your quality of life. Focus on increasing your income where possible. This could mean learning new skills, asking for better opportunities, or starting a small side hustle. Building savings is also important. Having a financial cushion helps you handle rising costs without stress. Finally, consider long-term strategies like investing. This allows your money to grow and helps you keep up with inflation over time. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.